Hello, and welcome to a trailer breakdown for patch 6.4 The Dark Throne, which is scheduled to release on the 23rd of May 2023. I'm very, very excited for the release of this, and the 23rd of May, it really can't come soon enough. Now, I must preface that this does have a fair bit of spoilers within it. Obviously, it's a trailer. I would say don't watch this, and certainly don't watch my breakdown if you want to know nothing about it. So I'm going to give you time to click off of this. I know some people always complain that it auto plays the videos when they watch my videos, and thank you for your support. But I will definitely give you time to get up off of the sofa or whatever, wherever you might be, to switch over. So there's quite a lot in here that will spoil it for you if you care about that sort of thing. But still, there's not a great deal of context, but I think they've done, I don't know, a decent-ish job of giving you teasers, but maybe too much. So we're going to break this down. We're just going to pause through it. We're going to play through it and see what we can pick out. If you find anything in here that I don't see, please feel free to leave a comment below. And if I have any burning questions, and we're just going to go through this kind of live and like react to it and sort of comment on the things I notice specifically. So without further ado, let's get cracking.
Peggy 16.
Excellent stuff. All right. I'm always excited by Square Enix's trailers.
I would bid you join me. Fight with me for the...
So Golbez is attempting to persuade the player, maybe, if it's directed that way, to join him in Conquest, presumably. This then is on our moon, and that is Aether in the sky, I'm fairly sure. I could be hoodwinked into thinking it's not, but I really do not think we're in the void at this point.
Salvation of all our souls. Now feast.
Oh dear. So obviously we have a little bit of a problem there for Vitra and his dear sister Asdaya being locked in here. Maybe there is no way of freeing her. We'll have to find out, but this doesn't look good, does it? But it does mean that he finally gets to be reunited with his sister at this point.
Upon this dragon and its ardent longing for hope.
You know what we should do? We should have put the subtitles on. Let's listen to the audio again, because the subtitles might give away more.
Bid you join me.
That's if it populated it.
For the salvation of all our souls.
So it's doing basically predicted captions here, so we might get something out of it.
Now feast upon this dragon and its ardent longing for home with it.
So feast upon this dragon and its longing for home within. So presumably Asdaya's longing to not be imprisoned is going to be used against her? I don't know. In a later scene, we see like what appears to be like grafted scion or something from Elden Ring, where, you know, Golbez is walking around with Asdaya's head coming out, kind of similar to how in the Eden raid we saw Herace Valga on the side of Shiva, which was very interesting. Very similar, actually, very similar models. You'll see in a moment. So, of course, this is the Aether font. We've seen this in a couple of pictures so far. This is the outdoor section. Presumably, we go on a boat or something and arrive here, and we have to traverse through here. There's also polar bears being adorable and playing like patty cake over here and stuff, but that's our current destination in the distance. Clearly, something's happening with this. We've got some Sharky boys as enemies. Very cool stuff. They're using artifact gear on the characters. What is this thing? What is this fella? Very strange looking creature that is. Very strange. But obviously one of the bosses, because there's a boss wall there. Maybe the first boss of the instance, since it's outside.
They claim
this is cool. How that you're sliding along this like zip line made of ether. Let's listen to the audio.
to be soldiers of a kingdom called Baron. And we're
interesting. I hadn't actually read this yet. So this in the background is a flashback sequence for Golbez, presumably his backstory, because that's the bit we haven't seen so far, and this is sort of grayed out, sort of film, sort of sepia toned. So presumably this is Golbez and the story of what happened to the 13th.
Traveling the realm in search of a means to end the Contra Memoria.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure that's exactly what we saw there. I really think that this here is Golbez, and I'm not sure who the other fella is, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, that looks a bit Golbez-y, doesn't it? Almost slightly like Xenos as well, weirdly enough. Penguins! Amazing.
Everything seems to...
This is the bear boss, which presumably, since we've got like the inwards of a cave, but it was still outside, maybe the second boss of the Aether
be proceeding apace.
This seems to be inside the dungeon. Maybe this is the third boss. I don't know. But I can't remember for the life of me the name of this creature, but I've seen it before. And it's going to haunt me. Someone in the comment section, tell me the name of this boss. I know you know it.
I did.
It's the pattern. What's his name? Can't remember. Obviously, this is voice lines from Thancred, I think.
I say he would have been fine without me.
Yeah, obviously, because it's Thancred there. All right, okay, cool. This scene here, I believe, might be from Mount Rokon because of the tatami mats in the background. And then this following scene is definitely Mount Rokon, or Rokon, which is obviously variant mode and criterion mode, and the Savage version. There's 3 difficulties to this. This seems to be one of the paths. It's very beautiful. One of the other paths that Yoshi P tried in the live letter today was through a section of forest on top of a hill. Looks like the central passage goes through the actual like shriney buildingy bit. These seem to be inside of that building. These sort of like gloom creatures. Very interesting. Again, we've got artifact gear being equipped here. Zero looking very... This is the bit in the trailer I was like, really? So Zero is actually looking at Leporits here and kind of looks as though they're about to lose it. Let's listen to the audio as well.
Then thou wouldst make use of...
Alright, so it doesn't finish the sentence there, and also that auto-translate was awful, by the way. Awful. But as you can see, we have ourselves one of our elephant bros on the moon with Ishtola. So presumably this will be like the start of something, the realization that maybe the moon is involved in some way with Golbez and the Void, and there was like a greater plan. The Leporits are fearing for their existence at the sight of Zero about to slaughter them, presumably. Maybe this is just a comedic first impressions. I don't know. Hopefully it's nothing worse. This scene here is obviously with the changes that they've done to Shatter. Shatter has now had its mini tomb lifts removed, and the bigger ones respawn. And yeah, they've changed the map, actually. On the live letter, we go into bigger detail if you want to watch that. This is Mount Rokon as well. This is a beautiful gravel path leading up to that sort of like, let's call it a shrine building. It probably isn't, right? I don't know what it is.
So this is the promised land.
This is the promised land is what I heard there. Very interesting. So this is Rokon as well, with the Leafmen have this new overhaul, this new mob texture with autumn leaves. This is Island Sanctuary, by the way. So in 6.4, we can place things outside. We've got 2 player characters here wearing the previous Island Sanctuary reward armor on a bench on this grass type section. I'm not sure what this is. This some kind of carpet texture? I'm not sure. And then we've got these like pathway thingies with, you know, jumping rocks between. This is all like player placed as well. On Yoshi P's demonstration today on a live letter, he showed that there's like a blue section that highlights where you can place, and you can place up to 90 items. Presumably this is the next stage of the buildings as well, which kind of almost remind me of a Crystarium with that kind of archway.
The land of boundless ether.
The land of boundless ether. Interesting. Very interesting. This then is ocean fishing. It features the realms of the east. So we have the waters near Kugane, and we also have the Ruby Sea. And by the looks of it, since this is Yangsha that they're currently sailing in, that'll be the third zone. Interesting. So Kugane, waters outside of Kugane, then the waters of the Ruby Sea, and then the waters a little bit further of Yangsha. Very cool stuff. This is Criterion Mode. On the special site, we did a video earlier actually looking at this. This rat-type creature summons a like shamisen or a musical instrument and does all these mechanics. So this is Criterion. Yeah, you even saw it briefly there. This, I presume, is Mount Rokon just because of the type of area, like a different destination. It's going to be very interesting to see what each of these locations look like. I think they're putting a lot more, pardon the pun, but variants into variant mode. A lot of the paths are going to look quite different. I'm very excited for this. We've got Shtola here casting a spell.
Commence your invocations.
So this then looks like, because these were originally for sealing Zodiac, right? To seal Zodiac within the moon. That was the storyline implication. So for them to be using incantations to like make these guys glow again, does this mean that they're trying to prevent something else from being used? Because I always wondered what was going to happen with this big crater that was oozing this energy basically from Zodiac. Presumably Golbez uses this to his advantage, maybe in one last ditch attempt to use Zodiac's energy to I don't know, do the sundering it all over again, or the reunion, rejoining. I don't know. This seems pretty much reminiscent of the start of when we move between places in Shadowbringers, right? When we left our body and the Scions left the body, but we left for the first. So I think this cutscene is related specifically to a scene for the 6.4 normal raid storyline. But then we're on the back of, maybe not, actually. I didn't even realize that we were on. So this is going through the void then. Interesting.
'Tis time to open our gate.
That looks like a blue mage encounter. One of the new Masked Carnival bosses with all kinds of fire explosions everywhere. Bomblings, some new gear. This staff, I know it's blurry on the screen, but that's new. And also that was Drippy's magic. Did you see that very briefly?
'Tis time to open our gate.
It's Splish Splash. Yeah, that's the Drippy. Then we got Hildy with there's only like 2 clips of Hildy because he's coming out in 6.45, but this bit from a storyline, he sat on the chair again, and it looks like he's deducing, similar to the other implications of the more cubic version of him. I love the storyline of Hildebrand at the minute. It's fantastic. This looks like one of the bosses within inside Mount Rokon. Very cool looking boss, that, by the way. Very cool looking boss with this like horn as a weapon. Very cool. I like that. Very nice. Hopefully they reuse this model. It's beautiful.
This is the moon of the 13th.
Oh, okay. So we're actually... see, I've only ever watched this in the Japanese audio, so my my entire take from this is completely reversed. I told you this was half reaction and half analysis. So this is the moon of the 13th. Okay. All right. So, but presumably they're connected, though, because on that previous scene earlier, we were definitely on our moon with the Elephant Bro and the Leporets, right? So they are linked, clearly. So maybe I'm not wrong that there's, it's both moons basically. So that makes more sense because that's obviously the 13th. Very interesting. Very interesting. This then is Pandemonium Anabasios. Very cool with the cages. This is very interesting to see what happens here. So there's like some stairs that fall into it from the ethereal sea.
Been waiting for this.
Like, that is very much the ethereal sea, like the crystal part where you know, obviously we go to Confront Heidelin. The Etherscope, or whatever it's called. That's the first boss of here, which I forget the name of. We're going to call him Clive for now. Good old Clive. It begins with a C in the English version. But, yeah, it's very interesting. I can't wait to see what happens in that story.
One of them got what they deserved. Trusting fools. Like.
So Vigalian sort of like wrapping up. Also, there should be some more information to do with the Garlemald, the people of Garlemald and Thavnir, their refugee status to the moon, right? Because that was the whole idea. They were going to the moon because their houses, their homes have been destroyed and people that they know have been slaughtered, and they wanted a new place. So presumably that links in some way. Obviously Zero talking to our friend over here. Hopefully there's more steamed buns cutscenes, because those were delicious looking.
Heroes. It always ends the same way. A knife in the back.
Obviously La Hebrea there. It looks amazing. This then, the first boss. This is normal difficulty, so these outer rings look like death. And then on the inner section, there's other segments that seem to be displayed. So presumably there are mechanics to do with that. Maybe some ice-based mechanics, I'm not sure. I mean, there's like fractals, so. This shrinks and then it's doing like a proximity. So maybe it's like a knockback into, or maybe this AoE knocks back. It looks like it's just like a proximity, maybe follow up from a cone. In a sense, not a cone, a circle in the middle. Not sure.
Even now, I struggle with fear and uncertainty.
Xenos. I'm not even sure, but Lisa's there. This could be a solo duty from, I don't know, someone else's perspective. Lisa's clearly there.
Day after day.
It looks like it, doesn't it? Because we've got Alfie there as well. Oh no, you know what this will be? Sorry, I'm completely off my brain apparently today. This is the Stormblood duty support. Right, this is Alamigo. This is actually Alamigo. Thank goodness. No more Xenos, please. In my opinion. So this is the duty support stuff, right? Okay, because there's Diamond Carby there as well. Okay, awesome.
I asked myself, what is right? Where do we go from here?
That looks like... So the implication of the twins using this that Fan Daniel used to try and activate the rejoining, right? Using the towers to free Zodiac on the moon and it actually going off. So basically, are we undoing what we did now that Zodiac's been defeated because we need to do something on our side to affect the 13th to be able to weaken Golbez? Very interesting. Like you could speculate for hours and you'd probably be right and I'd be wrong. Also, the first boss appears to have a quadrupedal stance as well as a standing bipedally, which is terrifying. This, I have absolutely no idea where this could be. I mean, it could be inside the Aether font, but I have no idea. I'm guessing that this is one of the Anabasius bosses. I'm guessing. Mostly because there's a tank buster over here, and then there appears to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is the raid. This has to be the raid. What a scary looking boss, though. Terrifying. Absolutely awesome. So Astinian on the moon of the 13th battling demons. That went really quick, didn't it? That went really quick. Let's see if we can slow that down. So we've got some other characters in the shot here. Wow, this is really difficult to go frame by frame. So we've got some characters. We've also got more demons, but it looks like we've got people fighting them off. It's very hard to tell who they are, though. They were very careful with the scenes that they chose and the frames. I think they probably went through every frame to make sure you couldn't see who was in the background. See what I mean? Like the 13th is something's happening. I think it's basically every single shard is being activated in some way through like the rejoining us. I don't know. This is a good scene of the actual battle of the trial then. Looking forward to this. Suspended on some weird cube above. Ooh, big AoEs. Really big AoEs. Look at the size of that. Room wide. Also on a live letter, Yoshi P had a little bit of a walk around, and they also had Hades related mechanics, so spikes one direction and spikes the other, and you had to like alternate between the sides as well. So expect Hades like mechanics, maybe some Thordan related mechanics, because that's basically what it looks like here. And then stuff to do with Asdaya, because clearly she's in some way or shape or form empowering Golbez. As you can see, this reminds me so much of Race Velga and Shiva and like Thordan mixed together, especially with the big sword. I think Golbez might be the 13th version of Thordan. I think that's my speculative sort of answer to this. Also, did you see that? He's like split off into like a spiritual form version. Very interesting. Like his spirit's separated, maybe to have like double mechanics or something. Very interesting. And then he's siphoning here.
At last.
Siphoning the energy, presumably of a dragon.
The moment is at hand.
This could be anything, but I think this is actually the power of Asdaya being absorbed or maybe corrupted. Because it looks like he's summoning like all this, I don't know. She's been there a very long time. I doubt that she's in, you know, the same way that we remember, or the characters remember her.
Come.
Also reminds me a bit of Shinryu as well, you know what I mean?
Face me.
So that section there, we can guarantee is from a bit where you don't control your character, because you've got fetters. Look, this is the fetters debuff, which means you've got a duty action presumably to press or something like that, like they've done in Shinryu and lots of other trials before. So that's what I'm guessing that is.
Face me.
Does like a big ultimate, and if you did something incorrect, you're dead, and if you did it correct, you're probably going to survive with a raid wide.
The hero who shattered the wheel and brought salvation to the world.
Who shattered the wheel and brought salvation to the world. What a fantastic quote. I'm looking forward to this patch, as you could probably imagine, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, very cool stuff. And of course, that's the 23rd of May. It doesn't actually say on the trailer, because presumably they didn't want to commit on a rendered trailer early. But yeah, there's some really exciting bits from this. I've probably missed a bunch of stuff. I'm glad we kind of live reacted and picked apart this. I had some thoughts from the Japanese version, which is the only version I'd watched up until this, but the dialogue certainly gave away some elements that I wasn't aware of, especially the fact that it's on the 13th moon. But yeah, some really exciting stuff. This patch is going to be huge, and I'm very excited to get stuck in. So for everything that might be featured in this patch, be sure to watch my channel. We've got a live letter breakdown that's already on the channel as well as a special site video. And now we've got a bit of a trailer analysis. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if I missed anything. And let me know the name of that boss that we saw earlier, by the way, with all the tentacles, because I do not remember it, but I feel like I should know the name of it. Where is it? Somewhere in the middle, right? Either way. Anyway, have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.